I'm Alexandra, a psychic spiritual counselor, and welcome to Alexandra's Psychic Eye. Anxiety mounts as we make our way closer to the date, December 21st, 2012, where many people believe the end of the world will come to pass. What are we really in for on this day? Cataclysm, earthquakes, pits of fire, or are we merely walking into a new age of enlightenment? We're about to find out. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Rev Maria D'Andrea Solomon is an internationally known professional psychic from Budapest, Hungary, a psychic spiritual speaker and a specialist in the area of metaphysics. And she has some amazing insights regarding the topic of 2012. And welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me. We always have such a good time.
Yes, we do. Now, we were having this wonderful discussion in our last show about the changes that are in store for the world in 2012. Explain the connection this has with the ancient Aztec culture.
All right. Well, everybody thinks that in 2012 we're going to have all this chaos and confusion. And the way the Aztecs looked at it was that in the year 2012, 2011, 2012, around there they felt that that was the end of their true-blooded genealogy.
Really?
So they're not looking at their culture being gone, but they are looking at the end of their true-blooded culture, you know, where after that everybody's intermarried and all the races are mixed. So the pure blood of the Aztec culture is going to be gone, they figured, about 2011, 2012. So they're looking at their ending in that form. They're not looking at society or even the end of their culture, just on that level.
I see. So it's basically that they felt it was their culture that was up. But why 2012? Where did they come up with 2012?
Well, it's partly astrological, partly it's numerology, you know, partly it's psychic, such as yourself.
Yes.
So it's a mixture of different forms that all came together, and they all pointed towards 2011, 2012 in that phase.
Yes.
And it's really in that phase because energies flow, so it's not like one ends on a specific day or a specific year, and then it starts a different cycle the next day on the calendar.
Yes.
It's around 2011 and 12.
That's very interesting. Now, you mentioned you have an alpha drumming tape, a CD, and we'd really like to play that. Okay, it's alpha drumming. It's your audio CD. And now, what is that about? What prompted you to create it? Oh, they're playing it. There it is.
I teach the spiritual, psychic, and the metaphysical fields. And I find that certain sounds, such as the alpha drumming CD, will put you into a meditative state. It puts you into the alpha set, how can I put this? The alpha mindset, or rather, the alpha frequency of your brainwave.
Well, I have to
So when you're listening to it,
I am very relaxed.
yeah.
I feel,
and that helps you in the transition
yes,
with
I feel very
2012.
soothed by it, very relaxed.
You know, and
It's
basically
really
you're listening to
nice.
it for a long time. It has two different speeds. And again, that's to put you into that state where it helps you with the transition.
It's like your
It helps you
heartbeat.
manifest. Yes.
It helps you manifest anything you want.
Anything you want.
Now, how would
Helps
you do
through
that?
the
You listen to
transition.
the tape, then how would you manifest?
Well, the
How are
first thing you
going
would
to
do is
that?
before you start, you focus on exactly what you would like in your life, such as, and it can be vague, such as the perfect relationship, the perfect job. the universe taking care of you. So you don't have to worry about what you have to do next day, the day after. Everything will fall into place naturally and automatically for you. Or you can focus on something specific, such as if you have coworkers where you'd like to get along better with them. If you have a relationship or friendship that you would like to improve, or a new one coming into your life.
Well, we are going to have your whole collection on our website, psychiceye.tv, Alexandra Psychic Eye. However, where can they get the Alpha Drumming CD? Because it's really wonderful. Simple, but very powerful.
It's
and I
the
have
frequency.
to tell you, yes, I felt very soothed and very calmed and very centered. So where can people get a copy of that?
Well, it's on my website, which is www.mariadandreasolomon.com.
Good, and we're going to have that on the graphics. So, and what made you come up with that?
Well, I have many students where they had a hard time getting into meditation or relaxing. And even if you're not manifesting, you can use that just to relax, to be calmer after a stressful day. And I find the more you listen to sounds with different frequencies, the calmer you get, the easier your life gets. You get a little bit more peaceful.
Well, I have to tell you, I do feel more relaxed. I truly do. So honestly, I think you should pick up a copy of her drumming.
Alpha Drumming.
Alpha Drumming. Okay. Now, you mentioned that we're entering the fifth dimension. Explain further what the fifth dimension entails.
Well, we always go through dimensional changes through time. We're going into a shift now. It's already started. That's shifting from the fourth to the fifth dimension. What that means is it's going to be much easier to create. So this is a time of manifesting becoming much easier. It's a time of spirituality, of focusing on what you would like in your life. So creating anything is becoming easier. Now, the positive part of that is if you're really focused on a goal, it's going to come in. It's not, how can I put this? It's not if it's coming in, it's when it's coming in.
It's coming in. Okay. Just walk into it.
Exactly. The other part is you have to be careful about your thoughts, because if somebody is always focused on, oh, my job is terrible, I'm worried about them firing me, eventually that's what's going to happen.
They're going
because
to fire you.
They're focused on that instead of my job might be difficult, but it's becoming easier and easier and easier.
Every day in every way, my job is more secure. I'm more secure. I always tell my students that. So the fifth dimension
is one of creation and spirituality.
Spirituality. The age of Aquarius.
And we've already been through that phase on a lighter level, and now it's hitting on a stronger level. So it's going to manifest quickly.
Why is it hitting on a stronger level?
Because of the earth changes. The energies of the earth themselves are shifting, which they do on a cyclical manner. And as it shifts, we're in tune with the Earth's energies, whether we're conscious of it or not. So as the Earth's energy shifts, we also shift. So it's moving everything up.
Wonderful.
Very positive way.
You have a great way of looking at the world. You really do. How will this affect the physical then, the fifth dimension? In general, like what what's the physical effects on our bodies, on our minds, on our health, on our life, the physical effects.
Well, health-wise, everybody's starting to be more aware of what they put into their body. They're more aware of where they live. As an example, we're more aware of what type of food we like, we don't like, what connects with our body, what makes us uncomfortable.
Yes, I noticed that people...
Heavier.
Yes, I noticed that people, like in supermarkets, they'll have sugar-free, high fiber. All the commercials on television are different now. They're very conscious of how this is going to affect your energy level.
Now, the funny part is
people
don't think about it. It really is.
I love
people doing it consciously and subconsciously, but we're still moving that way. And what's really funny that people don't think of, I have a client where, we do readings, we do classes and different things. And she was living in a house where they had all the electrical wires. It was across the street and down about a half a block. And she must have lived there for 15 years at least. Never bothered her.
What is it that never bothered her?
The electrical energy. She didn't notice it. It was a visual thing, but she didn't feel any of it.
Right.
And then the last year and a half, she's very uncomfortable, she's edgy. As soon as she's out of her house, she's fine and away from there. But all that electrical energy is starting to really bother her. So her feelings, her intuitive feelings, her energy feelings are becoming more sensitive. It's not that the electrical field changed, it's more that she's more sensitive to it. So she's actually moving.
You know, I also wanted to mention something. One of my students, her house in Staten Island was built on a cemetery. This is the old Poltergeist, Steven Spielberg movie, but this really happened. And I went there a few weeks ago with my mother, because she's very involved in my spiritual work, and my and little Fluffster over here, this little guy, there he is, okay. And he's like a healing dog. And we uncovered about 30 spirits. And most of them were not pranksters. Most of them were just lonely and sad and lost. And they wanted to go home to Father, but they really lost their way. And her daughter, when I left, you know, mentioned each and every one of them. And she knew the ones that I knew about, but we never discussed it. She said, oh, did Alexandra know about the little boy in the corner in your bedroom and the woman in the closet? So her daughter's very psychic too.
Yeah.
Now, why aren't other people on her block having this same experience? Like the person that is semi-attached to her house, they're not having this, and I'm going back there tonight to do another cleansing with holy water. She is very psychic and very gifted and a healer. So
Well,
what is
everybody
happening
I
here?
look at it as everybody has different levels. I truly believe, because you and I teach, I truly believe everybody's psychic. But I'm always telling my students, I look at it as some people are artists, but everybody can draw. Okay? So it's just a different level. Some people really are not meant in this lifetime to really tune in on that level. It's not their path of life. They might need to be more focused on finance or on family or in different areas. So they're not quite as tuned in. It's not negative or positive. Everybody's on the right path for themselves. And then you have a lot of people that are becoming more intuitive, and the ones that were already dealing from psychic and intuitive levels, or some people like to call it a gut feeling. The ones that are already in tune, it's just becoming more intense, and they're branching out. All of a sudden, as an example, they might find that they can do psychometry and they weren't aware of it. It's like, you know, when you hold an object, and it could be a picture, it could be a stone off the street. You know how it is. Sometimes you pick up a stone and you feel that the person that lived there was positive, or what their favorite color was, or sometimes we use that consciously to find out if it's an area that has earthquakes or problems or water main problems. You know, so we actually check that. So sometimes people will pick an object and all of a sudden they get all these feelings or colors and they don't know what that relates to. They're picking up psychic information directly from whatever the object is.
Amazing. It's amazing. As a mass, our thoughts are also affecting the world at large, even down to the weather. Now, how do you explain, Reverend Maria, how do you explain this when we generally do not see the connection between our thoughts and the everyday world events? I mean, all the traumas that are going on in the world, and the weather, and all the things that have been happening all around the world. What do you think of that? How do you explain
I really feel it's extremely connected, because whatever we put out in thought will, you know, en masse, will eventually manifest. So you have
like cosmic
on
resonance.
a cosmic level.
We're all, you know, we're all together cosmically, you know.
Now I find
same thought.
I'm also a shaman, so I look at it a little bit differently. And one of the ways that we look at that is if you think of a spider web, and each person is a soul on the spider web. If you move one little strand, it moves the whole web, which includes the planet and weather and how people feel towards each other. So when people are in a lot of chaos, you tend to have war, you tend to have upheavals, you tend to have more arguments, or as you were saying before, cars cutting you off where they normally wouldn't as much.